Hey guys, what's up? So today I am going to talk about who needs to stay on a GLP-1 indefinitely and who could potentially go off of the GLP-1 and still be able to maintain their weight loss. I'm going to break down some of the science, the research, my own personal experience, and hopefully at the end of the video you'll have a better idea which bucket you fall into and what you need to do for your maintenance journey, which is basically the rest of your life, right? So welcome to my channel. If you don't know me, I'm Jules. I have lost 50 pounds. I am 5'1" tall. I have maintained about 113 pounds now for 2 years. I am still on a GLP-1 on a weekly shot. I do take 12.5 milligrams currently of Zepbound, and that's what's kept me steady. And I want to talk about who can go off and who needs to stay on a GLP-1 so you don't get those weight fluctuations, because the last thing that we want to do after putting in so much hard work on all the effort and all the energy into losing weight and finally getting there and buying the new clothes and feeling amazing, the last thing we want to do is start regaining the weight, which is what we've done in the past, right? We've all been there, we've regained, and we don't want to be doing that. So what's the plan? Do you have to stay on GLP-1 forever? Well, let's see what happens. Let's talk about it. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and hit the bell button if you want to be notified when I drop the next video. I would love to have you part of the community. I also have a Facebook group that's private if you're looking for some more support and more community. Just go to JulsWellnessWarrior on Facebook and you'll see the group in there. Would love to have you join us. Okay, so here's what the current research is saying for GLP-1s in terms of weight maintenance. There are about 5 to 10% of the people that go on a GLP-1 and lose weight who are able to go off of it and still maintain the weight. So what that means is 90 to 95% of the people that go on a GLP-1, like Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Zepbound, aka semaglutide or tirzepatide, will need to remain on a GLP-1 to some degree indefinitely. I know there's a lot of people that intend to go on it and then lose the weight and go off. That was my intention as well. When I first went on, I first said to my doctor, I can come off this medication, right? I don't have to stay on this forever. And back in 2022, we didn't really know too much. And my doctor was like, sure, you'll be able to go off. So I'm like, all right, then I'll go on this. I'm not sure if I would have gone on if she had said it's a forever medication, quite honestly. And I think a lot of people's intention is to go on and then come off. But that might not be the reality for you. And if that changes, it's okay. So what happens is the GLP-1s, they help to regulate our appetite and our satiety hormones and the signaling. They rewire our brains. They decrease that food noise and all the cravings. Obviously, they suppress appetite to help us to eat less. They create more insulin sensitivity that helps us to partition those calories. So we're able to lose the weight. We're able to restore our metabolic health to the normal levels that they should have been from whatever messed them up to begin with. And then we're able to hopefully maintain that weight. Now, going off of the GLP-1, what happens is everything sort of just reverts back, right? It's biology for most people, again. So for most people, if you have been metabolically deranged or dysfunctional for many, many years, you have yo-yo dieted for many years, you've had issues for decades, or even since you were a child, and now you're, decades into this, chances are you're one of those people that needs to remain. I'm one of those people that needs to remain on this indefinitely. And I came to that realization when I hit goal weight, because I didn't want to go backwards. I didn't want to have that food noise come back. I didn't want to regain the weight. And I was able to eat more at that point as well and still maintain the weight and still maintain my energy and all the wonderful things. And that's why I then decided to stay on it. And then as I stayed on it, the longer I was on it, the longer I felt so good. Why would I want to go off of it? I feel amazing. There's no really negative repercussions. And then the more research is coming out saying it's having even more benefits from longevity perspective and inflammation and all these other great things that, for me personally, I plan to stay on this indefinitely because I certainly don't want to regain the weight. And so the people that can come off, who are those people? Let's talk about that. If you're someone who has gained weight suddenly through a medication that you were given, right? There's a lot of antidepressants that they make people gain weight. And that's, again, that's something that happens in the body that makes you gain weight suddenly. Or you had an illness or, something happened in a short period of time where you gain that weight suddenly. But prior to that, you were able to maintain a healthy weight before that. And it's just like kind of a short period of time. You may be one of those people who you jump on a GLP-1, it kickstarts you, you're able to lose the weight. You may be able to come off of that. You might be one of those people because you don't have years and years and decades behind you of this metabolic dysfunction. If I were one of those people, I would probably see what happens. I would wean myself down. I would space it out. I'd get to the lowest dose. I'd see how I was feeling, but check in with yourself. Check in with how you're feeling, how your brain feels, how your body feels. And if you can go off it, that's amazing because you can always go back on if you need to. So that's always there. And if you are one of those people where you went off and now the food noise is coming back or you started to regain the weight, despite trying to keep all of those lifestyle changes there, but it just becomes harder and harder and harder. And who the heck wants to white knuckle the rest of your life? I don't. And if you are one of those people and you have to go back on a GLP-1, that's okay. It's not you. It is not your fault. It is biology. It is what's going on inside of you. It's your hormones and your metabolism and your insulin sensitivity and your sugar levels. And there's all these different cascading things that are going on that you kind of don't have control over. We have limited control. Yeah, we have control over what we're putting in our mouth and how much we're moving. But the GLP-1s, they help us to want to do those things more and to be excited to do those things more. So don't blame yourself if you need to go back on. And if you're someone that needs to remain on a GLP-1 and never go off of it, that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a tool. It's not the end all be all of everything. It is a tool. It is a powerful tool, but it is a tool to go along with everything else you're doing. So let me give you an analogy of staying on a GLP-1 because I think that there's a lot of shame and blame out there regarding, going on it, staying on it, and even people in the GLP-1 community who are bragging like, oh, I'm only on a small dose or I'm microdosing or whatever, and I'm able to, maintain my weight. Great, that's fantastic. That's you as an individual. And if you can do that, more power to you. There are some people that need to remain on a higher dose. The research actually states that to maintain the weight on a GLP-1, when you remain, you're probably going to remain on the last dose that you were at where you lost the weight. So if you ended your journey on 15 milligrams of Zepbound, chances are you're going to stay there. There's nothing wrong with that. I went up to 15 and then I went down to 12.5 and I've stayed at 12.5. The reason I went down to 12.5 actually was because I started getting hungrier at 15 and I wanted to see what it would be like at 12.5, and I actually was a little bit less hungry. And that's just been my maintenance dose where I feel really good at. So I just don't see a reason to play around with the dosing if I feel good where I'm at. Now, if I'm not feeling good, that's a whole nother thing, and then you need to experiment and, check out a different dosage or, a different timing schedule or something of that nature. But the research states that the maintenance dosing is somewhere in that 10 or 7, 5, 10, 12, 5, 15 staging. So you're no better if you're higher or lower or whatever. Everyone's different. Everyone's body is different. Everyone's history is different. Some people have been fighting this since they were 5 years old. Other people have been fighting this since they had children. Other people have been doing this for 10 years or 30, or maybe you've been doing this since you hit perimenopause or menopause. Everyone's different. And I think that we just need to be a little bit more accepting that everyone is different. Everyone, how they lose weight, how they maintain it, maybe a little bit of a different journey, and that's okay. So we have to remember that GLP-1s, they are not a standalone tool. They are used in conjunction, and you will maximize your weight loss and your maintenance journey by making those habit and behavior lifestyle changes. So what that means is prioritize protein and fiber, water intake. If you're highly insulin insensitive, you're going to want to be on a lower starchy carb diet. That's what's worked for me. And I know the research, especially for prediabetes and diabetics who have that insulin insensitivity, you can become a little more insulin sensitive and really maximize your GLP-1 by high protein, fiber, and lower on the starchy carbs. What that means, it's really individual. I like to keep my starchy carbs or total carb intake probably under 100. But that's really individual again and up to you. And I love my carbs, but I know when I get crazy on the carbs, then the weight starts to go up a little bit, and it also increases my appetite. So the two kind of go hand in hand. Lift weights, you want to build your muscle, increase your metabolism, you want to get that movement in during the day. Again, for maintenance, the research shows the more movement, the more muscle mass that you have on you, and the cleaner your diet is, meaning let's not be getting crazy on the processed foods. Keep that limited. You can have a little bit, but keep the processed food limited. Keep that alcohol really limited, or even avoid it altogether, especially as we get older. We just can't metabolize it the same way. And there is no healthy dose of alcohol. I bought into that a long time ago when social media would come out and say, oh, a glass of wine is actually good for you, or longevity or whatever. I pass it around to my friends. I'm like, see, it's good for us to drink, because we wanted to hear that message. But the reality is, and I have come to that reality, there is no amount of alcohol that is actually healthy. It is a toxin, and we make worse decisions when we're drinking as well. So those are all the reasons why I decided no more alcohol. I'm done with it. I don't need that buzz. I don't need the extra calories. I don't need that to mess around in my life. So keep that limited or avoid altogether. And of course, the added sugar, try to keep that limited as well. And all of those lifestyle changes, along with sleep and mitigating stress, that's what's going to keep you where you're at, keep you maintaining, and really maximize the GLP-1 benefits that you're going to continue to get in maintenance. I would love to hear from you in the comments. What are you doing to maintain? Are you still on a GLP-1? What are your thoughts? Are you someone that has been able to come off of it and maintain your weight? That would be really cool to hear from you as well. And if you like this video, share it with a friend, give it a thumbs up. Anything that you do definitely helps to get my message out, which is my intent. I want to share my knowledge and my experience and help to inspire and motivate and educate anyone that is on a GLP-1 or considering a GLP-1, how to do it, how to maximize your benefits, and instill in you that hope again, that this time will be the last time. You will absolutely make this your lifestyle and you will make it work for you for the last time. I hope that I can see you in my next video, and stay strong.